All right, welcome, Jessica. So lovely
Thank
that you're
you.
here. I'm so glad that you are joining us today. For all of those who are watching, this is Jessica, another Jessica. Jessica is a recent graduate of our Loyo Method coaching mentorship and program. And, we were talking before about what some of her biggest wins are and how to caption this particular interview. And I think the biggest thing is, and we're going to talk about this in more detail, but how she really alleviated her overwhelm, kind of found more calm in the chaos of her very busy mama life, and has the tools for sustainable weight loss now. She has had some great successes and she'll talk about them. But Jess, welcome. It is so nice you. So let's chat. I know, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of, who you are, what do you, a little bit about your background, and then some of the challenges that, you've experienced.
Okay. I am 36. I have 3 children. I'm happily married, and I live in Florida, and I actually found Jessica by accident. I actually thought she was a different group, and we just started talking, and I was so excited to try her group, and everything she offered was just like, it blew my mind, even better than the other groups that I have seen. And I'm so happy to be here and be a part of the Loyo community.
It's been such a wonderful time working with you since last November. And it's been really wonderful. I know that you had lots of goals and lots of things happening. Tell us a little bit about where you were last year.
So I had my last son a couple of years ago, and I feel like ever since I had him, I've been struggling, not only with weight gain, but also with like coping mechanisms on how to handle stress and all the things. And I never really I've always been a positive person and encouraging to others, but I didn't really have the tools to kind of take care of myself at the same time. So through this program, I've, gained knowledge from Jess on how to deal with these things even better. So I guess I was in like a rough place and I didn't even realize it. And then this just came as such a blessing in my life. And it was perfect, at the perfect time, I felt like. So I was very excited.
I know you had a weight loss goal, and that there was a little bit of stress eating, a little bit of boredom eating, a lot of on the go eating, which I think is really resonant of the very busy women here in this group and in the community that, follows us, whether it's on, Instagram, our emails, our clients. So tell me, what were you doing on your own? What were you trying to do to get to your goals? What was happening for yourself and your, other efforts?
Okay, so I have to tell you, I have a sweet tooth. And so the easy thing is usually the sweet thing or the, quick thing. And so, being a busy mom, always going to sports events and everything, I would always grab the quick thing and whatnot. But I would try really hard to, notice what I ate. But I did think of, certain foods as worse foods and certain foods as better foods. And I tried to kind of do that, but I knew I needed more knowledge on how to do that. So yeah, I guess I would try really hard to cut out snacks and that kind of thing. And then I would fail, and then I would be like, oh well anyway, but then I get back on it. But then, it was like a back and forth.
So interesting that you just said that you needed more knowledge. So why didn't you just go Google and research and buy a bunch of books?
So I do research a lot online and I have read a lot online, but I couldn't figure it out exactly on my own. I knew I needed someone who like you knew like the dietitian stuff and the nutrient stuff. And I just like on my own, even though, you know, I am a well-educated person, I don't know about that. And so it really helped me just kind of figure out blood sugar and how it works and all that stuff. So yeah.
I find that to be such a common trend
Mhm.
when smart, capable, intelligent, you know, women who are educated, who are go-getters, who are really, you know, they get it. They're smart. They're capable people. They research and all the things, but there's something stuck. And what I say to a lot of women is, well, you don't know what you don't know, and you're not expected to know everything. I get it. As moms, we're expected to be the perfect wife and the perfect mom and the perfect this and the perfect employee and the perfect, but there is no perfect, and we're not expected to know it all. There is no way I could ever go into my husband's job. He's in logistics and all these, you know, I would fail miserably. Not because I'm not an intelligent woman, because you don't know what you don't know. Like, I don't know. That's not what I'm expected to know. Right. So there is a lot of similarities to so many other women who, exactly what you just said. But as a woman who is smart, who is capable, we often think that we should know it.
Right.
That we should just be able to figure it out on our own.
Right.
How did you overcome that?
I don't know. I just you know, I knew I had a phone call with you, and I told my husband ahead of time, I'm like, don't worry, I'm not going to buy anything because I am a researcher and I do try to figure it all out on my own. And then I talked to you and I realized how beneficial that it would be just with the different things and everything. And it just, I was like, you know what? I do need to do this for me because it is important. I am important. And I do know that, you know, so that was important to me.
So key. Like, you are important, right? You deserve success. Were you nervous to invest in yourself?
I was very nervous, but it was really good and really worth it. So,
How did you overcome that fear?
um, I, I know deep down that I'm worth it. I just knowing that I had to take a step forward to progress in the way that I wanted to go.
So why? What stood out for you? Like, you even accidentally ended up here. I so appreciate your emotion. It's, you know, this is real, right? It's
I
been
didn't
a
mean to
journey.
cry.
It's been a journey, but you
It
know,
really has.
your sister-in-law recommended this other program. You thought
Right.
that I was her, and then all
Right.
of a sudden it wasn't. But
Right.
what stood out here for you? What was so different than like the things that you had done before? What was different?
So before, you know, you eat certain foods or you don't eat certain foods, and, you know, obviously that's good and everything, or you track calories, which I've never been good at, but I would try really hard, you know, whatever. And then I thought it was me just failing at everything. And so I get in a really bad place mentally. And so when I talked to you and you told me that like there's a lot of mind shift stuff too, like it kind of like something clicked. And I was like, oh, I never really thought about all the behind the scenes stuff that goes into weight loss. So for me, that was interesting and it piqued my curiosity. And so I wanted to see it for myself and like learn it for myself.
So how did you overcome the conversation that you said to your husband, you know, hey, don't worry, I'm just, you know, getting information. Like, most women want to or need to talk to their
Right.
spouses. Like,
Right.
you know, did you have that conversation, or did you make that decision by yourself?
I definitely made that conversation while I was on the phone with you, only because I knew if I didn't, when I was talking to you, that I would hedge and I would go back and forth, even thinking about it. And then I'd be like, you know what, maybe I'll do it later or whatever. And so I decided to jump in. And then I told him, oh, by the way, and he's like, oh, okay, but he does support me. And so it was a good thing, like, and so it's like I knew I had to make that investment for me just to move forward for my life, for my family, for, everything that I want to do. So that's what pushed me.
I love that. You are like me in terms of, sometimes we try to get other people's opinions and they can talk us right out of it. And honestly, when I made an enormous business investment, just to analogize for a second, when I made an enormous business investment that was the scariest amount that I had ever spent on myself, when I didn't know if there was going to be a return and had no idea and was putting all of my faith into this, one person who, promised all these things. And I was like, I knew I needed to do that. Like, that is what I needed to do for various reasons. And I made that decision on my own. And if I had consulted with my husband, or if I had asked my mom, or if I had asked all these people who have their own opinions, I would have talked myself right out of it. And after I made the decision and I told my husband, he was like, are you sure this is like the best time? Like,
Right.
I think like all these things as far as, the timing and, we just moved and all this money we spent and having babies and like, are you like, he was giving me the like, and I was like,
Right.
you wait 6 months.
Right.
And he backed off. And like that ownership of being able to feel empowered in your own choices, I think is so key. And so,
Sure.
how did that pan out for you? What do you, in terms of like your decision and your experience here, what are some of the results and successes that you feel most proud of?
So I did hear once, if it doesn't scare you a little bit, then it's not your dream. And so in means of like that, like, yes, it is scary moving forward, but it's worth it, And so some things that really have helped me are definitely the nutritional value that I've learned through your program, but also like ways to de-stress, like breathing breaks and self-care and just motivation for why I need movement in my life. And just things that I never really thought about, I was able to learn through your program, and like different reasons why I was stuck before, where I didn't even realize fully I was stuck. I knew I was stuck, but I didn't know how or why or how to get out of it. And so through your different exercises, I was able to see, oh, that's why, I'm stuck. So, just a lot of things, honestly, like it has grounded me. It has made me feel stronger as a person and more focused and intentional on the values that I have for my life. And so it's been just amazing, honestly.
I love it. I love it. I know one of the things that you said that you took away was, small steps move you to bigger progress.
For sure.
And it's, progress, not perfection. And we
Exactly.
do take a lot of imperfect action steps in order to create habit changes. And I think that was something that I saw in you over the course of our months together, that each habit, each tool that you utilized, each thing that you practiced, each thing that you kind of stacked on top of the next, each and every week shifted how you started to talk about yourself, how you started to speak to yourself, how you started to have better confidence in yourself, how you, speak more positively about body image and, some of those other wins, like being less worried, being more, less overwhelmed. And again, like focusing one thing at a time. We were talking about, sometimes women tend to multitask, which leads us nowhere. And, being able to be really intentional so that you're actually more productive, and then reclaiming some of the time so you can focus on your kids and things like that. So amazing, amazing, amazing work. What would you tell someone else, another woman who's in your shoes or who was in your shoes? What would you tell them?
I feel like you're worth it and you need to invest in yourself if you want to grow, like not grow physically, but grow mentally and shrink physically. So I feel like everyone needs to realize their importance. And yes, we are moms, we are wives, we have a lot of different titles, but we are important and it's worth it to invest in yourself.
I love
Choose
that, choose you. Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's hard. It's hard for women to put themselves first. Self-care does not come naturally and easily for so many women, especially women who are also moms and who put everyone else first. But the beautiful thing is that, well, let me ask you this. Your plate is full. You have 3 kids. How are you implementing self-care and prioritizing yourself without feeling guilty?
Now I know like I need to make time for myself or I can't pour out of my empty cup, like I need to fill my cup, just like you have to put on the mask before you save your kid, even though it's not what you first think to do, you still have to help yourself to be able to help others. So
I love it. And I know that's, there's like cliche self-care
there is.
verbiage is out there, but there is so much truth into some of those things where, self-care doesn't mean you are neglecting
Right.
others.
Right.
It means that you're just putting you as a priority also.
For
And
sure.
there's a difference. They are not mutually exclusive. And amazing. Well, Jess, it has been a pleasure. I'm so glad that you are here sharing your story, and it's always lovely to see you. I'm sure if anyone has questions or any, comments about your journey or wants to reach out, feel free. We'll tag Jess here and, leave a comment if you have a question for Jess. And thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You're so
And
welcome.